It is the biggest day in stock car racing as we are ready to go to open up another chapter of the NASCAR Cup Series. It starts right here on the biggest stage. It is the Great American Race. It is the 64th running of the Daytona 500. El Cajon, California's Kyle Larson comes to Daytona as the defending NASCAR Cup Series champion, but then you also have Michael McDowell who comes here as the reigning Daytona 500 champion, but it is the 24-year-old William Byron driving car number 24 who will lead the field down to green this afternoon in the Daytona 500. We have 37 drivers on the grid who is also trying to claim that Harley J. Earl Trophy here at the end of the night. It is a cloudy Sunday afternoon, but it is still a great day for NASCAR racing. 76 degrees outside. Great weather for thousands of fans that have gathered from all across the globe to watch the Great American Race. It's been an action-packed last 3 days here at Daytona. Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe won the duels on Thursday night, followed by Tyler Ankrum scoring the victory in the Truck Series race on Friday. Just last night, Brett Moffitt picked up his very first Xfinity Series win, and there's no better place to get that first win than right here at Daytona. We have 50 laps today that will decide the 2022 Daytona 500, and we have 7 prior 500 champions in the field, and each of them would love to receive another Harley J. Earl Trophy here at Night's End. Hello everybody and welcome here to the Daytona International Speedway, where we are live on the 4Y Broadcasting Network on Twitch, as well as on Mark Jeff TV over on YouTube, tuning in to watch 40 of the best stock car racing drivers battle it out to win the most prestige race in stock car racing, the Daytona 500. Earlier this week, William Byron and Martin Truex Jr. qualified on the front row for tonight's Daytona 500. Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe, and Austin Dillon rounds out the top 5. And we have plenty of new changes here this season with different drivers, different driver team combinations, including 3 Rookie of the Year candidates here for 2022. Austin Cindric takes over the famous Blue Deuce, replacing Brad Keselowski, who moves to a different opportunity here this year. Cindric, the 2020 Xfinity Series champion, made his debut in the Cup Series in this race 1 year ago, although it ended in a shower of flames in the last lap crash 1 year ago. Harrison Burton is another Rookie of the Year candidate here for 2022. Son of South Boston's Jeff Burton begins his NASCAR Cup Series career, taking over the famous number 21 for the Wood brothers. The 4-time Xfinity winner moves from Joe Gibbs Racing and Toyota to Ford here in 2022 and will make his 500 debut right here tonight. You also have Todd Gilliland, the number 38, who has never raced in the NASCAR Cup Series, but that will change here this evening here at Daytona. The 22-year-old will follow in his father's footsteps, driving for the same team and even the same car number that his dad drove several years ago in the NASCAR Cup Series. But we also have some former champions and veterans of the series with new opportunities here in 2022. We talked about Brad Keselowski leaving Team Penske to drive for Roush Fenway Racing, but not only drive, but become co-owner of the organization, forming RFK Racing. He will drive the number 6 Color Generations Ford here in the 500. We also have on the grid Kurt Busch, the 2004 Series champion and the 2017 500 winner. Kurt Busch moves from Chip Ganassi Racing and takes his longtime sponsor Monster Energy to 2311 Racing, owned by Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan, driving the number 45, an iconic number in the Petty family. His former teammate Ross Chastain moves to another team. That team is Trackhouse Racing. That team becomes a 2-car team after purchasing Chastain's old team, Chip Ganassi Racing, at the end of 2021. He takes over the number 1 Clover Valley Chevrolet, and he'll start this race from 27th on the grid. We also have Colleague Racing, another new team in the Cup Series, full-time in 2022. Kaulig Racing will field a primary number 31 entry with 23-year-old Justin Haley behind the wheel. Now this team is also going to field a second car full-time here in 2022, and today they have the defending Xfinity Series champion Daniel Hemrick behind the wheel of the Poppy Bank number 16 Chevrolet Camaro. GMS Racing is another new team on the Cup Series circuit here in 2022. Ty Dillon makes the jump back up to the Cup Series full-time after spending 2021 on the sidelines. Ty Dillon came to this race 1 year ago hoping to make the show as he was a part-time driver and he failed to qualify for the 500, but this year he's locked in driving for Petty GMS Motorsports, a new partnership between Richard Petty Motorsports and GMS Racing. And we have many more storylines to cover as the broadcast goes on here from Daytona, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, cars will be on the track when we return to Daytona right here after the break. And the command has been given and we are ready to go here in the 2022 Daytona 500. And now let's show you your starting grid for today's great American race. Row 1, William Byron captured his second pole in the Daytona 500 on Wednesday night. He's joined by Martin Truex Jr., who starts on the front row for the third time in his career. Row 2, Denny Hamlin has 2 500 wins in the past 3 years and 5 top 5 finishes in the last 6 races here at Daytona. He won his dual race on Thursday night, and he starts next to sophomore driver Chase Briscoe in the number 14. Row 3, Austin Dillon, the 2018 500 winner, and Brad Keselowski making his first start with RFK Racing. Row 4 is Eric Jones in the famous number 43 for Richard Petty, and Eric Almirola in what could be his final Daytona 500. Row 5, we have David Reagan coming out of retirement to race in the Daytona 500 with Front Row Motorsports, and he's joined by Kurt Busch, the 2017 500 winner, making his 22nd start in the Great American Race. Row 6, Texas native Chris Buescher has 2 top 5s in the 500, and Ryan Blaney was runner-up here back in 2020. Row 7, Cole Custer makes his third start in the Great American Race. He starts next to last year's runner-up in this race, Chase Elliott. Row 8, we have Bubba Wallace, runner-up here back in 2018, and Alex Bowman, who has never finished inside the top 10 in the Daytona 500. Row 9, we have Ty Dillon. He missed this race 1 year ago, but he's back in it. And he starts next to the defending series champion, Kyle Larson. Row 10, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has a July win here back in 2017, and Harrison Burton making his first Daytona 500 start. Row 11, Landon Castle has 6 prior 500s with a best finish of 12th, and he starts next to the 2007 champion of the 500, Kevin Harvick. For number 12, we have Justin Haley jobbing for the new Kaulig Racing Cup team, and he starts next to Austin Cindric in his second 500 for the captain. Row 13, Corey LaJoie, the top 10 in the 2020 500, although it ended in a scary crash with Ryan Newman, and JJ Yaley, the Phoenix native, gets Carl Long's Toyota in the Great American Race. Row 14, teammates from Trackhouse Racing, Daniel Suarez from Monterrey, Mexico, and the Watermelon Man Ross Chastain in his Clover Valley Chevrolet. Row 15, rounding out the top 30 on row 15 is Todd Gilliland, his very first NASCAR Cup Series start, and it comes here in the 500, and Tyler Reddick, his fourth 500 start. Row 16 is the 2015 winner of this race, Joey Logano, all the way back in 31st place, with Riley Herbst making his series debut as well in the number 15. Row 17 is Kyle Busch making his 17th start in the Great American Race, but still looking for that very first 500 win. Does it come today? He's joined by his Jughead's Racing teammate, Christopher Bell. Row 18 is Daniel Hemrick, the defending Xfinity Series champion in the 2019 Cup Series Rookie of the Year, with Cody Ware making his third Daytona 500. Row 19, BJ McLeod in the Celsius number 78, his fourth Great American Race, lined up next to the defending 500 champion, Glendale, Arizona's Michael McDowell. And running out the field on row number 20 has a combined 34 starts in the Great American Race with 2 longtime series veterans, the 2008 500 winner Ryan Newman, driving a third car for RFK Racing in what could be his final start in the Great American Race, And Greg Biffle, who has not raced in the Cup Series since Homestead of 2016, comes back driving for John Cohen in NY Racing. He will start shotgun of the field. As we still have a couple of pace laps left to go before the green flag drops here in the 2022 season, let's take a closer look at a few drivers before we go green. Now, during the off-season winter break, Eric Almirola revealed that he will retire from full-time driving at the end of 2022. Now, indicating that this could be his last ride in the Daytona 500. Now, he nearly won this race back in 2018, but was crashed on the final lap. Does he get some redemption today and starts his farewell tour in style? Another driver we want to take a look at is the 60 of Ryan Newman. Now, this could be also his last run in the Daytona 500. When Brad Keselowski took co-ownership of Roush Fenway Racing, it left Newman on the outside looking in. Jack Roush offered him a third car to run part-time, including the Daytona 500 with sponsorship from Coca-Cola. This is scheduled to be Newman's only planned race in 2022. He's another driver looking to go out in style here tonight. Beside him on row number 20, we have the 44 of Greg Biffle. He has not sat in a Cup Series car since the final race of 2016 and minus 2 truck races in 2019 and 2020, which included a win at Texas. Biffle has not raced at all since then. But that changed in Thursday night's duels. He qualified his way into the show on Wednesday, but had a minor mechanical failure in his dual race on Thursday, placing him shotgun in the field. But definitely great to see the Biff back on the racetrack. And this could also be the last time we see Greg Biffle take the green flag in the Daytona 500. Now, as we might be saying goodbye to Eric Almirola, Ryan Newman, and Greg Biffle, we are saying hello to Riley Herbst, a Las Vegas native. Riley Herbst is making his NASCAR Cup Series debut this afternoon in a joint effort between Stewart-Haas Racing and Rick Ware Racing. Longtime sponsor Monster Energy on the car. He has 77 prior Xfinity Series starts to his resume, including last night's race where he scored a top 10. Now, we talked about Ty Gilliland, who has never raced in the Cup Series before today. That goes for Riley Herbst. Does he get some beginner's luck here and score another top 10 at Daytona? We're just about to find. We are about to go green here in the Daytona 500. Hundreds of thousands of fans have gathered here to the track, getting set to watch the great American race. 40 drivers on the grid, and they all believe that they can go to victory lane. They say if you're in it, you can win it. And we have William Byron on the front row with Martin Truex Jr. leading us down to green for the first time in 2022. Thank you everybody for watching here on the 4Y Broadcasting Network on Twitch and on YouTube. Hope you enjoy the show as we are going to get set to go full throttle here at Daytona. William Byron leads us to the green flag, and we're racing in the Great American Race. Juggled by the 24 of William Byron. The 19 of Martin Truex Jr. kind of missed the gears and just a little bit, but he's coming back with a push from the 14 of Chase Briscoe. Truex had a big push. He was able to drop down low and clear the 24 of William Byron, but here comes the 14 of Briscoe, pushed by Brad Keselowski. Now Brad Keselowski's going to go 3 wide, pushed by his former teammate Ryan Blaney. That's going to leave the 2 Stewart-Haas cars stuck in the middle lane with no help. No forward momentum. It's the former series champion on the bottom, but it's going to be Ryan Blaney, pushed by Kyle Larson. Give the first lap led to Ryan Blaney in the 12 car. Kyle Larson, the defending series champion, qualified back in 18th place on row number 9, and he has already driven his way up inside the top 5. He had the lead for a moment, but now he's already been shoveled outside the top 5, almost the top 10. Look at that run by the 8 of Tyler Reddick. A big push. That's Cody Ware in the 51. Rookie Harrison Burton has already now been pushed up to the lead. Ryan Newman, we talked about him. He started back in 39th place, and here he is on in second place behind the 21 of Harrison Burton as they're almost 4 wide back here outside the top 10. Alex Bowman's in the middle, J.J. Yaley in the middle lane. And we said Ryan Blaney led the first lap. He's already outside the top 10 in that 12 car. And now Newman pushed by Tyler Reddick to the lead. Now Christopher Bell, Cody Ware, and Kyle Larson coming back on the outside lane in the 5. And now again the lead to the 20 of Christopher Bell. As you look a little bit further on here in the back, you see the outside line continuing to move forward, but the middle lane continuing to fall back. See a lot of cars not really organized, not really on the bumper of each other. There's a lot of spaces in that middle lane. Now they've gotten organized. Now they got some momentum coming their way, but the outside line continuing to have a huge advantage. How about the 15 of Riley Herbst? Pushed out front by David Reagan. Chris Buescher now to the outside. Bubba Wallace down to the bottom behind the 36 of David Reagan. Now we're 3 wide throughout the entire field off turn number 2. And this is a 38 car pack because we have 2 cars that have now lost the draft already. The 78 of BJ McLeod. We talked about him. He had some mechanical issues in his dual race. It looks like he is still off the pace currently. He lost the draft pretty quickly. And the 18 of Kyle Busch. He also had a engine let go in his dual race. And he lost the draft pretty quickly as well. Not sure what the situation is on the M&M's Toyota Camry for Kyle Busch. Up front though, Austin Dillon now has taken his Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet to the front, pushed by a RCR Affinity car. That's the 31 of Justin Haley on the bottom. He definitely knows how to go to victory lane on these super speedways. He's had a lot of success in the Xfinity Series for Colleague Racing. And now Corey LaJoie to the front in the 7, but now you have the 99 of Daniel Suarez leading that outside train, pushed by the 41 of Cole Custer. They've only been green for just a couple of laps, but we've already seen so many lead changes so already here this evening here at Daytona. Suarez now in command, but Cole Custer and Alex Bowman working that middle lane to perfection. They're going to go 1-2, but it's Eric Jones to 43 on the outside, pushed by Bubba Wallace in the 23. And Suarez not up to the bumper of the 41 of Custer. That's going to hurt the inside lane. That's going to help the 43 of Eric Jones clear Cole Custer and take control of the lead. But for how long? Bubba Wallace now in the middle, and you see the 48 of Alex Bowman unable to get to the back bumper of the 23. It's Keselowski and Chase Elliott back on the outside, and here comes Cole Custer back to the door of the 43 of Eric Jones here in the Tri-Oval. Keselowski now pushed by Chase Elliott, and it looks like Elliott may leave Cole, or it looks like he was going to leave Brad Keselowski hanging, but now Keselowski, though, had such a huge run, he was still able to get down in front of the 43 of Eric Jones, and now Jones back to the outside lane down the backstretch. And as soon as Jones made that move, Cole Custer responds, and he makes him move to the outside of the 43. Now we have the 9 of Chase Elliott, pushed by Kevin Harvick, and Harvick sideways into turn number 3. Harvick got loose, that made the 38 of Ty Gilliland had to get out of the gas, get on the brake just a little bit. They did a good job not crashing right there, as that probably would have wiped out the entire field. Elliott leads at the line now, the 22 of Joey Logano on the outside, pushed by Eric Almirola. There's the 44 of Greg Biffle. And that outside line continuing to move once again. This time it's Logano now out in front for the first time today, pushed by the 10 of Almirola. Talked about Eric Almirola. He nearly won this race back in 2018, in position to win on the final lap, but he got turned on the backstretch by Austin Dillon. That was his first race in the 500, driving this number 10 car for Stewart-Haas Racing, and this could be his last race in the 500, driving that 10 car. Definitely would be a Cinderella story to go out for Eric Almirola if he can win this race here this afternoon. He's already been pushed further back outside the top 5 already, as the 2 cars that were able to make the show on qualifying speed, Ryan Newman and Greg Biffle, now up already up here inside the top 10, and Newman has taken the lead away from the 47 of Stenhouse. Denny Hamlin, one of your dual winners on Thursday, pushed by Kyle Larson. Hamlin in the bottom, David Reagan on the outside with Ross Chastain, Cody Ware. See the two Rick Ware racing cars having a great run so far. The 51 of Ware and the 15 of Riley Herbst. With Hamlin on the bottom trying to control both lanes, but David Reagan has gotten his car to the right rear of the 11 of Denny Hamlin. Going to try to side draft the 11, pull him back. As he does that, here comes a run on the outside yet again. This time it's Riley Herbst, a young guy who has never raced in the NASCAR Cup Series, being pushed by a former series champion. Definitely a great debut so far for the Las Vegas native Riley Herbst. The 19 of Martin Truex Jr. pushing him alongside David Reagan. And now the 41 of Cole Custer looks back up to the outside. He's got Justin Haley behind him, and Truex is going to get stuck in the middle with Cody Ware not really to his bumper just yet. And Riley Herbst clears the bottom and takes the lead away from David Reagan. And they're still 3 wide throughout the entire field. Just saw Eric Almirola in the front. He's already outside the top 20. There's Landon Castle in the middle with the 42 of Ty Dillon. Haven't really talked any about Chris Buescher. There he is in the 17 on the outside, pushing the 66 of J.J. Yaley, who got that small budget team in the show. Making this race is so important for some of these smaller teams, and it was great to see J.J. Yaley get that Toyota in the show on Thursday night, as we have a new leader now, Austin Cindric, pushed by Christopher Bell, put the former Xfinity champion on point in Daytona. And Cindric, his first start driving the number 2 for the captain, replacing Brad Keselowski. Cindric made his Cup Series debut in this race 1 year ago. He had a great run going, a top 15 finish going, until he got caught up in that last lap crash, a crash that ended in flames and sparks. And now it's his satellite teammate who's now taking the lead away, the 21 of Harrison Burton. Chris Buescher, though, keeps Burton from having that lead too long. He got a great push from the 99 of Daniel Suarez. Daniel Hemrick stuck in the middle in the 16. Chase Briscoe and Keselowski up high with Ryan Blaney to help. And there's the 45. We haven't really talked about Kurt Busch at all in this race. And there's that number 45 for 2311 Racing. Trying to move inside the top 5 as Keselowski goes back up to the front in the number 6. Now Ryan Blaney stays on his outside door. It's Kurt Busch up top. Cody Ware pushing up Ryan Blaney in the middle. And it's Brad Keselowski leading the bottom train. And look at those 4 cars. Look at the amount of momentum that they have compared to the middle lane and the outside lane. Kurt Busch pushed out in front. But now, once again, that 41, Cole Custer, he's been pretty fast so far this evening. We've seen him go to the front, then fall back, but pretty quickly able to make his way back up to the front. Put Cole Custer back on point yet again in that 41 for Stewart-Haas Racing. They come across the line, Kurt Busch and Landon Castle side by side for second place. Another driver we haven't really talked about a whole lot this afternoon so far. How about the 34, Michael McDowell, the defending 500 champion, is now making some noise, now being pushed by the 24 of William Byron. Byron pushing McDowell to the front. Byron and McDowell clears, and the top 2 drop to the bottom lane. It's Stenhouse leading the middle, and Logano fighting back up top in the 22. And once again, that middle lane, it's like who's ever leading that middle lane, going through turns 3 and 4, it's like maybe the handling's just going away. Maybe there's a few bumps in that lane that's just slowing the cars down. But we saw it right there. The 47 just completely fell back like a rock. And we've also seen that, a lot of these cars are unable to stay behind the car in that second lane. And there it is again. You see Truex falling back in the clutches of David Reagan. It's going to allow the 2 Penske teammates to control the 2 bottom lanes, Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano. Now Daniel Hemrick stays up top, pushed by the 11 of Denny Hamlin as they're almost 4 wide back here, entering turn number 3. to put the number 16 of Daniel Hemrick in control. Greg Biffle now up high. Chase Elliott even higher in the 9. This is a 38-car pack. We just got word a few moments ago that the 78 B.J. McLeod has taken his car to the garage area, so B.J. McLeod is going to be done for the day here as we are 20 laps into the Daytona 500. Still 3 wide here at the front. Daniel Hemrick on the bottom. We saw a big push there by his teammate, the 31, Justin Haley. He's going to get pushed out to a huge lead as we're going to be 4 wide possibly for second place. Alex Bowman all the way up against the wall. The two of Austin Cindric trying to, it looks like Cindric's trying to back up a little bit and let Bowman in so that way he doesn't make it 4 wide. And Haley's got a pretty good lead. Now, any other track, that big lead would be pretty good. But here at Daytona, you do not want to get too far out in front. And this is why we're out here. Look at the run the 9 of Chase Elliott has, pushed by Austin Dillon. And Haley he had no momentum. And once Daniel Hemrick got to his bumper, the 31 was just so off the pace, he couldn't really do nothing with the 31 of Justin Haley. But now they've gotten speed back up again as we're side by side between Chase Elliott and Austin Dillon. They were 2nd and 3rd in this race 1 year ago. Ryan Newman's up here. You see the 44 of Greg Biffle trying to mount a charge on the outside lane, but he has no help from behind. That's the 36 of David Reagan in the middle behind the 3 of Dillon. But it's Elliott on the bottom with push by the 60 of Ryan Newman. See a lot of cars beginning to dance around a little bit through turn 1 and 2. The longer we go on these tires, the more that the handling characteristics could come into play. And right there you see the 18 of Kyle Busch hoping and praying for yellow to come out here because he is just moments away from going a lap down here. As Haley pushed by Biffle, and now Biffle looks up high, 3 wide as Riley Herbst is going to go through the middle of the 15. Now you have a couple of more Fords trying to gang up here on the Chevrolets. Harrison Burton and Austin Cindric. You just saw the 43 of Eric Jones coming to pit lane, and now we just got word that the caution is out here on lap number 23. 2 laps shy of halfway, and it was a flat tire, we're being told, on the 43 of Eric Jones. And this could actually be a pretty good break for the 43. It's going to be a big break for the 18 of Kyle Busch. He'll be able to stay on the lead lap, as he was probably maybe at least 1 lap away from going a lap down. And now Greg Biffle in his very first race back. What a awesome story this is for the Biff. Over 5-6 years since Biffle last competed in the Cup Series, and he's already picking up where he didn't necessarily left off. His days were at his later days at Roush Fenway Racing was not the best, not really to the Greg Biffle standards we were accustomed to in years prior, but definitely great to see that 44 up front, leading Justin Haley here at Daytona. But like we said, the 43 was on pit lane right before the yellow came out, so I would assume that everybody else is going to come down pit lane here under this yellow flag. And I would also assume that Eric Jones is going to stay out. So this could be a huge break for the 43 of Eric Jones. So we have Greg Biffle, Justin Haley, Harrison Burton, Riley Herbst, Austin Cindric, Tyler Reddick, Ryan Newman, Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, and Austin Dillon. Making up your top 10, Martin Truex Jr., Alex Bowman, David Reagan, Daniel Hemrick, and Kevin Harvick, Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, Todd Gilliland, Denny Hamlin, and Bubba Wallace. Then you had J.J. Yaley, Eric Almirola, Joey Logano, Ty Dillon, Cole Custer, Chase Briscoe, Daniel Suarez, Ross Chastain, Michael McDowell, and Christopher Bell. Followed by Ricky Stenhouse Jr., William Byron, Landon Castle, Kurt Busch, Cody Ware, Corey LaJoie, Chris Buescher, and there's the 43 of Eric Jones. and he's going to stay on the racetrack. And because he was able to stay on the lead lap, that number 43 will be the leader when we go back green here after these cycle of pit stops here under yellow. And we're going to go and we're going to watch the race off of pit lane. And there's the 12 of Ryan Blaney. Looks like Blaney may be the first car off of pit lane. Suarez is going to... I thought maybe Suarez was going to be leaving, but he is going into his pit stall. So it looks like maybe a two-tire pit stop by the 12 of Ryan Blaney. Greg Biffle came out second. And it looks like maybe a two-tire stop on the 6 of Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott, and Riley Herbst. Your top 5 off pit lane. But your leader is going to be the 43 of Eric Jones. He came down right before that yellow came out. So a big break for the 43. He will be the leader when we go back green here right after the break here on the 4Y Broadcasting Network. We are back live getting set for the restart here at Daytona. It is the 2022 Daytona 500 here on the 4Y Broadcasting Network. Getting set for the restart with 22 laps to go. It'll be 21 when we come across the line. And that caution came out at a pretty good time for basically all of our leaders, because that caution is going to basically split this race in half when it comes to fuel. So everybody was able to come down pit lane, get their fuel, make some adjustments if needed. And now they're going to get set for what could be a 21 lap shootout here from Daytona. And it is the 43 of Eric Jones on point in the 43 with Ryan Blaney alongside. We have yet to see a driver hold the lead for more than a few laps. With that change here with the 43, we're back underway with 21 to go. Saw the 12 of Ryan Blaney, the 9 of Chase Elliott immediately dropped down low on the inside lane. And now Blaney already jumping back up top, but it looks like the Chevrolets are going to stick together on the bottom. And then you have the Toyota of Denny Hamlin behind the 9 of Elliott. Already 3 wide towards 5th place. Ryan Newman at the top of the racetrack. Brad Keselowski, his teammate, falling back on the inside. David Reagan trying to shoot a gap in the middle. He drops down low behind the 11. And now that leaves the 31 of Justin Haley up top with a 22 of Joey Logano. Now Ryan Newman in the 60. He's going to make it 3 wide yet again. He jumps to the outside to the door of the 12 of Ryan Blaney. You know, Ryan Newman has nothing to lose. He's going to be very aggressive and trying to get this win for RK Racing. And Newman pushed by the 31 of Justin Haley as they're nearly 4 wide entering turn 1. Oh, a little bit of contact, landing Castle sideways. They save it though. A great save by the 77 of Landon Castle. They all keep it together. They all keep their car straight and clean, but that did kind of separate the pack into 2 groups. Got this second pack led by the 34 of Michael McDowell, but they should be able to run this group down as David Reagan is in the sucker hole at 36. Ryan Newman up front, Justin Haley, Joey Logano 3 wide for the race leads at exit turn 4. Now it's the 60 of Ryan Newman all clear, trying to block 3 lanes all at once, but it's Elliott now on the inside, but it's Logano on the outside in the 22. And now from that second pack led by the defending winner of this race, Michael McDowell. And the 24, you're posting to William Byron chase down this top pack. They should be able to, because these guys up here are getting a little bit crazy up here towards the front. And you know, we talk about anybody can win here at Daytona. How about that 77 Landon Castle, who was let go from his ride at the end of 2019? Didn't know if he would ever be able to get a ride in the Cup Series again. Now driving part-time for Byron Motorsports, and he is up front leading the Great American Race. But here comes now the 99 of Daniel Suarez to the lead. It didn't take that second pack long at all to catch the lead pack. We're now back all together at once here at the front. Austin Dillon and Daniel Hemmer getting pushed out to the lead. The 44, Greg Biffle. We forgot to talk about the 44. Greg Biffle, as well as the 15 of Riley Herbst, too fast on pit lane, but look how quickly they were able to work their way back up to the front. Biffle now in second place. Eric Almirola on the outside. He's got the 7 of Corey LaJoie behind him. And Hemrick stuck in the middle, 4 wide. This is where they got to be careful. You can feel the tension is starting to rise. The aggressiveness is starting to come out in each and every one of these drivers. They know time is running out to work their way up to the front here in the Daytona 500. It's the former winner of this race, Austin Dillon, leading with 17 to go. But now Almirola once again pushed by the 48 of Alex Bowman. Bowman looks up high. Here comes the three Hendrick Chevrolets working together. Bowman, Byron, and Elliott. And they just completely went by the three of Austin Dillon like he was sitting still. Now it's the 24 of Byron to the door of the 10 of Almirola for the lead. It's the 17 of Chris Buescher. He restarted outside the top 30. He's now up here. The 66 of J.J. Yaley continuing to put on a great run for Carl Long's team, MBM Motorsports. Ty Gilliland in 38 on the outside. We have Kurt Busch, Harrison Burton, LaJoy on the bottom, Bowman in the middle. But it's the 24 of Byron leading with 16 to go. Almirola's going to try to jump in the bottom. You see Buescher with a great push from the 66 of Yaley. J.J. Yaley has never won a NASCAR Cup Series race. How amazing, how crazy. Oh, the 44 is in the wall. Greg Biffle, they're crashing off turn number 2. And that will put us under yellow. The big one has struck here at Daytona. Justin Haley, his cars came to a stop on the apron of turn 1 and 2. Daniel Hemrick, Riley Herbst, Joey Logano's involved. Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, Chase Briscoe. There's the 19 of Truex. We saw the 44 involved. That's Greg Biffle. He was the first car we saw get turned into the wall. I was saying that before that happened, how crazy would it be for J.J. Yaley to get his very first Cup Series win, not only in the Great American Race, but for driving perhaps the most underfunded car in the field for MBM Motorsports. And right now he's got that car in second place. But we are under caution for the second time today. For the first time due to a crash here. And it is taking out some heavy hitters like Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, Bubba Wallace, Ty Dillon. See some damage on the rear end of the 4. Kevin Harvick, Austin Cindric, and many more have already taken their cars behind the wall or are already on pit lane. Well, it appears the center point of this accident is going to begin with the 44 of Greg Biffle. Watch how in turn number 1 is on the outside of David Reagan. It's like he looks like he's trying to side draft, maybe a little bit of contact, and then up the track, takes out the 14 of Briscoe, the 15 of Riley Herbst, 31 of Justin Haley. See the 20 of Christopher Bell also got contact, the 41 of Cole Custer. Is that Kyle Busch in the back? It is, the 18. Definitely a tough night for the 18 of Kyle Busch. Let's watch this from the chopper view. Biffle, we see, he's behind Austin Dillon, trying to side draft David Reagan. Kind of bounces off to 36. Up in Riley Herbst. Chase Briscoe has nowhere to go. See, Logano gets wiped out. He almost had it clear, too. Kyle Larson. Looks like majority, at least 3 of the Joe Gibbs cars are involved. I don't believe the 11 of Denny Hamlin was collected. Now he's up here inside towards the top 5. At least 3 of the Joe Gibbs cars wiped out. At least 3 of the Stuart Haas cars got damaged. At least 2 of the Penske cars. And both of the Colleague Racing Chevrolets wiped out. So we are already back under yellow here at Daytona. And the leader at the line, the leader at the moment of yellow would be the 17 of Chris Buescher. So we are going to step aside here one more time. Chris Buescher, J.J. Yaley, Todd Gilliland, Kurt Busch, Harrison Burton. Your top 5 here in the Daytona 500. Alright, we are getting set to go back green. We will have 12 laps to go here at Daytona. We have quite a few Fords here at the front. We have Chris Buescher and Todd Gilliland. on the front row with Kurt Busch's Toyota and Harrison Burton's Ford, followed by Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as well as William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Eric Almirola, Chase Elliott, and Corey LaJoie makes up your top 10. The 66 J.J. Yaley has came down pit lane under this yellow flag, so not sure what the issue is there on the 66. We had quite a few cars though go behind the wall after the incident there down in turn number 1 and 2. The 5 of Kyle Larson has driven his car to the garage area. He's joined by Daniel Hemrick, Justin Haley, Greg Biffle, Riley Herbst, Christopher Bell, Joey Logano. They are all out of the race at this moment, but we are going to go green with 12 to go. Chris Buescher, his third year here at RFK Racing, here in the NASCAR Cup Series. Todd Gilliland, his very first Cup Series start. He's never driven a Cup car until this past Wednesday when he qualified for this race. He's on the outside of the front row. Kurt Busch and Harrison Burton on row number 2. We are going to go back to green here at Daytona with 12 laps to go, and it's a great jump on the inside by Buescher and Kurt Busch. Harrison Burton drops down low now in the 21, trying to clear the 38 of Ty Gilliland. Gilliland definitely got hung out there on the outside lane. He had no help. He didn't really get going. That made it even harder for him to get the help that he needed. And now Kurt Busch to the outside of Chris Buescher for the lead. And Busch now pushed by the 17. But here comes rookie Todd Gilliland. I believe the 34, Michael McDowell was one of the guys who got caught up in that crash. So he's still on track. There he is at the top of your screen. He's already lost the draft. But Gilliland still has his teammate and veteran David Reagan up here in this mix. Ryan Newman also in the mix here in the 60. Landon Castle. J.J. Yaley's back up here. But can the rookie Todd Gilliland, 2 career wins in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, moved up, he skipped the Xfinity Series. He drove this 38 car for Bob Jenkins. His dad, David Gilliland, sat on the pole here in Daytona in 2007 when he was driving for Robert Yates Racing. He also won a pole here in 2014 for Front Row Motorsports. But that was for the July race here at Daytona. Now Chase Elliott pushed by Eric Almirola to the lead. And Elliott drops down low. Reagan down low as well. Kurt Busch in the middle. And LaJoie is going to get into the 21 of Harrison Burton. They saved it again. That was a cluster down on the front straightaway. Corey LaJoie. Look at the amount of time that costed LaJoie and Kevin Harvick, Ryan Newman, Denny Hamlin. While LaJoie and Burton was able to save it, Burton's able to stay in the lead draft, but LaJoie lost all that time. Now he might need a caution to get back up here. As up front now, the 23, Bubba Wallace, pushed by the 3 of Austin Dillon. He takes the lead away to put Bubba Wallace on point. And now we had J.J. Yaley coming back to pit road. Here off turn 4, Yaley coming to pit lane with 9 to go. More trouble for the 66. A heartbreak for the Arizona native who was having a great night here for MBM Motorsports, but now sees his 500 ending up on pit lane with 9 to go. Not sure what the issue is there on the 66. But we have now Eric Almirola and William Byron up front leading with 9 laps to go. Austin Dillon behind the 10 of Almirola. They appear to be a little bit slow entering turn number 3. I believe the yellow may be out again. It is. Here it is for fluid on the racetrack. And I would assume it could be from that 66 J.J. Yaley that we saw come down pit lane. It is. We just got told possibly the engine has let go on the 66. So that has put us under yellow. At the top of your screen, you see your ticker. Not sure why the yellow flag is not being indicated on the ticker, but we are under caution, our 3rd yellow of the night. And we have Eric Almirola on point in the 10 with William Byron, Austin Dillon, Todd Gilliland, and the 43 of Eric Jones, your top 5. Then we have Stenhouse, Harrison Burton, Chase Elliott, Chris Buescher, and Bubba Wallace, your top 10. So, the pace car is back on track, and we are currently at 8 laps to go. They're probably going to be around 5 laps to go. Now, we are not able to have an overtime attempt here this season. So, if we get a caution with about 2 laps to go, the race will end under yellow. So, we cannot do any overtime attempts, unfortunately. But we will be able to have at least one more restart here as we are inside 10 laps to go. We're going to watch these guys come off turn 4. We're going to see if anybody dips down pit lane. I would assume most drivers would probably stay out. And it appears so far, it looks like all drivers on track is going to stay out. At least all of our leaders will be staying on the racetrack. So, we are going to go to another commercial break, the last break of the broadcast. Eric Almirola leads the Great American Race. Will he hang on? We're about to find out with the final restart coming up next year at Daytona. Okay, so we are doubling up here for the restart. We will have 5 laps to go here to settle the 64th running of the Daytona 500. Eric Almirola. We talked about him getting crashed on the final lap back here in 2018. That was his first start driving for Stewart-Haas Racing in the Daytona 500. Tonight could be his last start in the 500 for Stewart-Haas Racing. What a story that would be for him to cap off his farewell tour with the win in the Great American Race. On the outside of the front row, William Byron. He has 2 career wins, both coming in the state of Florida. His very first win came right here at Daytona in the fall of 2020. Talked about Almirola getting crashed on the final lap. Who crashed him? The man lined up directly behind him on the restart, Austin Dillon. He also talked about Todd Gilliland, his very first start here in the Cup Series. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., known for his aggressive driving here at Daytona and Talladega. Harrison Burton, his second career start, his first in the Great American Race. Chase Elliott, runner-up here last year. Chris Buescher, 3rd place here 2 years ago. Eric Jones, we'd love to get the petty number 43 back in victory lane for the first time since 2014. And Ryan Blaney was runner-up here 2 years ago. Bowman, LaJoie, Harvick and Newman, Keselowski and Hamlin. Getting set to go green here. We have, I believe, about 24 cars on the lead lap as we are going to go back green. And this is a great jump of the 10 of Almirola. And remember, this will be the final restart of the night, more than likely. If we get a yellow, the race will be over. We will not be able to go back green. So, all these drivers, they need to be in front. They need to be ready to try to get to the lead before a possible yellow comes out. Almirola in front with Austin Dillon behind him. Also remember, all these guys fighting for a spot in the playoffs. 16 drivers will make it in. How big would it be to get your first win out of the way here in the Great American Race, setting yourself up for a possible championship run, a playoff spot on the line? But these drivers are thinking more about the Harley J. Earl Trophy more than a playoff spot. Almirola in front, William Byron on the outside. They're crashing behind. Ryan Newman's upside down. A yellow flag is out with 4 laps to go. And Almirola and Byron are side by side. Not sure who was in the lead at the moment of yellow. I would assume it was the 10 of Eric Almirola. Heavy damage on the front end of the 1 of Ross Chastain. Bubba Wallace in the 23. Kyle Busch is off the pace. McDowell, Brad Keselowski, Landon Castle. There's Cody Ware. So the yellow flag is out here at Daytona. And if we are unable to go back green, Eric Almirola is going to win the Great American Race. That is if we are not able to go back green. We are coming to 3 to go. And we saw Landon Castle's car stopped on the front straightaway. We saw Cody Ware's car stalled on track. We saw Ryan Newman's car go up in the air, which at this point isn't really surprising. Ryan Newman is known for being in the air. As bad as that may sound. Right now, Almirola, Byron, Stenhouse, Elliott, and the 38 of Todd Gilliland is your current top 5. As we are now 3 laps to go. And Todd Gilliland just ran in the back of the 9 of Chase Elliott. A lot of damage on the right front of the 38. I believe Todd Gilliland was trying to get by into 4th place. That's where he was being scored at. And now Todd Gilliland's car has come to a stop on the back straightaway towards turn number 3. And he is unable to drive that car back to pit lane. He's unable to keep minimum speed. And now Gilliland teleported to pit lane. He was going to more than likely finish in 4th place in his very first Cup Series start. And that could be taken away after he ran in the back of Chase Elliott, trying to get back into his position. Now let's take a look at what brought out the caution in the first place. And it looks pretty similar to what we saw with Greg Biffle earlier on. Ryan Newman's on the door of the 4. Kevin Harvick and just turns him up the track, and look at the 60 go in the air, tumbles down the front straightaway. Austin Cindric's involved again. Brad Keselowski drives by his damaged car that he now owns. There's the 51 of Cody Ware up against the outside wall. There's the 77 of Landon Castle. He took a hard impact. He may have been the car that ran into Newman, sending him upside down. And here's another view of it. Looks like Newman may be trying to side draft the 4 Kevin Harvick, but he gets too close. And Newman goes into the wall on top of the 1 of Ross Chastain. And there you see McDowell, Cody Ware, Brad Keselowski, Michael McDowell. They're all piling in. And that was... There you see the 36 of David Reagan. He was also involved. That was a bad lap for Front Row Motorsports right there. All three of their cars finding trouble. You know, we saw McDowell going right by. David Reagan's car came to a complete stop. Then we saw the mess on the back straightaway about a lap or 2 later with a 38 of Todd Gilliland. All right, here's a look at Todd Gilliland. He is being scored in 4th place, needing to get by the 9 of Chase Elliott. Not sure why Elliott was all the way up the track there, but Gilliland runs in the back of the 9 of Elliott. And you see something, it caused something to break on the 38 car. He's unable to keep minimum speed. He ended up coming to a stop. And now Todd Gilliland, who was going to finish 4th, is now probably going to finish outside the top 20, unable to complete the final 2 laps of the race. That is definitely a tough break, a tough ending to what could have been a great night for rookie Todd Gilliland. But we are back live here at the front. And you can just see right there, we have taken the final lap here at Daytona. So we are not going to be able to go back green here. And this race will end under yellow, because the AI does not have overtime attempts here on iRacing. So the race will end as is. And we have the 10, the Cuban Missile. Eric Almirola is going to capture his 4th career NASCAR Cup Series win. His 3rd actually on a super speedway. His 2nd right here at Daytona. But this win is probably going to triumph all 3 wins combined, as he is going to take the Daytona 500. William Byron was so close. Probably needed that caution to come out maybe 10 seconds later. And then he would probably be on his way to a 500 victory. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Harrison Burton, 4th place for the 21. Chase Elliott, 5th. Austin Dillon, Ryan Blaney, Kurt Busch, Chris Buescher, and Denny Hamlin. Your top 10. We have Bowman 11th, Eric Jones 12th, Ty Dillon 13th, Kevin Harvick, and Bubba Wallace. But as we are going to go back up to the front, we talked about, if you win, you're into the playoffs. Eric Almirola during the offseason said that he will not be back at Stewart-Haas Racing after 2022, that he will retire from NASCAR full-time driving at season's end. There's been a lot of rumors circulating about who will drive that number 10 car next season, but whoever it is, they are going to be stepping into the car that is the defending 500 car winner of the Daytona 500. They come to the line, and the 10 of Eric Almirola is going to win the running of the Daytona 500 here in the Great American Race. Eric Almirola is a Daytona 500 champion here in Daytona. That is the perfect way to start out your farewell tour in the NASCAR Cup Series. It is Stewart-Haas Racing's second win in the Daytona 500, their first since Kurt Busch in 2017. And for the second year in a row, a Hendrick Chevrolet is going to come up one spot short of the 500 win. Career best run in the 500 for the 47 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Harrison Burton, career best finish for the 21. Chase Elliott, another top 5 in the 500. We already went through the top 10. But, great run by Kurt Busch, his first race with 2311 Racing. Chris Buescher is going to get a top 10. Denny Hamlin. That makes since his win in the 500 in 2016, he has finished inside the top 10 in every race since then, with the exception of 2017. That is some incredible numbers by the 11 of Denny Hamlin. But tonight is all about the 10 of Eric Almirola. He is the winner of the 2022 Daytona 500. And now they will come down pit lane and they will begin post-race inspection here. And now we are going to get set to show you your race results here from race number 1 of the year for the NASCAR Cup Series. And as you can probably already tell, trying to pull up the results here. Eric Almirola, your winner, over second place, William Byron. '47 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is going to be third, Harrison Burton fourth, and Chase Elliott. Almirola, he led 10 laps. That is going to give him a bonus point for leading the most laps as well. Chase Elliott already went through the top 10 by Alex Bowman. A nice run in the 48. Ties his best finish in the Great American Race. Eric Jones, top 12, not too bad. His new teammate this year, Ty Dillon, 13th. Kevin Harvick and Bubba Wallace, top 15. Michael McDowell, your defending winner of this race, ends up 19th. He failed to lead a lap. Kind of expected McDowell to be up for a little bit more tonight, but he ends up the first car 1 lap down. Ross Chastain, Martin Truex Jr., another tough break for the 19, unable to get the W in the 500. And we have scored 25 cars running at the finish. And Ty Gillen, who was going to finish 4th, ends up 24th after the crash on the backstretch on the yellow. Ryan Newman out of the race in 25th. David Reagan, 26th. Kyle Busch ends up multiple laps down in 29th. Chase Briscoe, 30th. J.J. Yaley, Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, Greg Biffle, Daniel Hemrick, and Christopher Bell, your top 36. And then further on down, the final 4, Logano, Haley, Herbst, and B.J. McLeod, who was out early due to a transmission failure. As we are going to take a look here at the points. Race 1 in the books, and Eric Almirola already is in green, indicating that he is in the playoffs for 2022. And the points are going to look pretty similar to how they finished. William Byron, Austin Dillon, Denny Hamlin, and Chase Elliott will be the top 5 in points. So that will conclude tonight's broadcast here from Daytona. Wrapping up a great week here in Daytona Beach. Had great races in the duels on Thursday night. Great truck race, great Xfinity race last night, and we ran a awesome Daytona 500 here tonight with kind of a surprise winner, Eric Almirola, winning the Great American Race. And now Some may say the season will begin next week at the California Speedway in Fontana, California, as we will begin the West Coast swing next week with the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, as well as the NASCAR Cup Series. So, until then, I'm Eric here from the 4Y Broadcasting Network, and we will see you next week here